Welcome back to our channel all about BI. In this session I am going to touch upon Azure Data Factory playlist. We haven't updated this playlist for a long time now. I just took this opportunity to let you know about how do we access a pipeline from one data factory which is present in a different data factory. Okay, for example, you have a pipeline called pipeline 1 in ADF1 data factory. You want to access pipeline 2 which is residing in ADF2 data factory. Okay, it's simple. To put it simple, right? From one particular data factory pipeline, you are going to access a pipeline in a different data factory. How do we do that? That's what I'm going to tell you in this session. Before I take you through, I'll just explain the data factories I have. I have ADF demo 82 data factory, and then another data factory is ADF demo 21 sub. Okay, these two data factories I'm going to play around with. From ADF demo 82 data factory, I have to call a pipeline called pipeline 1 which is residing in this particular data factory. Okay, so how do we do that? We need a web activity and we have to issue web API call in order to achieve this functionality. Okay, so what and all you need to know about calling or using this web API, that's what I'm going to tell you today. Okay, so the settings are quite simple. We have to provide a URL, we have to choose a method, and if your the pipeline which is going to be called has any parameters, you are going to supply parameter values in body, and you will have to choose the authentication method. Okay, this is all we are going to do now, but I'll explain what to do and how to do. Okay, URL, this is the main part of the whole web API call. In this URL we are going to tell the web activity under which subscription, under which resource group, under which data factory the pipeline resides, and what is the pipeline name. Okay, that is what we are going to tell here. For your reference, right, we have something called pipelines create run page in Microsoft documentation itself. Okay, if you go to that page, you will have this syntax. I'll just copy it and I'll put it here. So if you see here, right, it's quite simple. We are just going to form one particular URI with the information that we need. Okay, what and all information we need, basically it's quite simple. You need to provide the subscription ID first. Okay, under this parenthesis you provide your subscription ID, followed by that you give your resource group name in which your pipeline to be called resides in. Okay, and then after you provide the resource group name, just give the data factory name itself. In my case it is nothing but ADF demo 21 sub. Okay, followed by that just provide the pipeline name. In my case it's pipeline 1. Okay, so that is what I have constructed from this particular syntax. Okay, leave this post part. Anyway, we are going to choose it from the pipeline itself. Okay, so in order to construct your URI, you can make use of this particular syntax. Okay, coming back, and I have just constructed my URI using the documentation page I just showed you. Okay, the whole URI looks like that. After you are done with this, just choose the method as post. Okay, and then in my pipeline that is to be called, I don't have any parameters at pipeline level, so I'm just passing an empty parenthesis as body. Okay, and more than this, what we need to know is you have to choose authentication type. By default it will be none. Okay, if you choose basic, it's not working. If you choose managed identity, it will ask for a resource URI again. Okay, so what is this resource URI? Again, I'll show you a web page, a documentation page where we have this detail. Okay, under a resource we have to provide this URL that is going to be helping us to establish managed identity based communication. Okay, so I have just copy pasted this particular URL here, and then we are half done. Okay, so the settings are all done now. We have to make one more thing in order to make the whole process work. So what is that? That's nothing but you have to provide some permissions. So where do I provide permission? We'll have to go to portal.azure.com. There choose the data factory that you are going to call from current data factory. Okay, under the to be called data factory, you have something called IAM Under IAM you have to add role assignment. Okay, so what role assignment you have to add? You can choose data factory contributor. So if we choose this, we'll have to provide which data factory is going to be calling this data factory. So I'm just choosing ADF demo 82, from which data factory we are going to call this particular data factory. That is what I'm doing here. So once I choose this and save, once I click here and save, we are going to be adding a role, or we are going to be adding permissions for our ADF demo 82 to call ADF demo 21 sub. Without this step, your pipeline won't execute. It will say ADF demo 82 doesn't have required permission to talk to ADF demo 21 sub. Okay, so these are all the required steps in order to achieve this. So once you run this activity, how it will be behaving is, it's not see, in the other pipeline that I'm calling, right, what I'm doing is I'm just having a wait activity. Okay, it waits for 100 seconds. But when you look at this execution status, right, this pipeline won't wait for 100 seconds. So what it is internally doing is, it will be calling the other pipeline and it will be completing the once the call is successful, then it is terminating. Okay, or it is completed. It means it follows fire and forget process. Okay, it's not waiting for the other pipeline to run, but just that it kicks off and finishes. Okay, just keep this in mind. And once the other pipeline is called, you can monitor the other pipeline's execution status in the ADF demo 21 sub data factory, just like how the other pipelines are monitored, right, executions. Same way you can go to the different data factory and refresh the status in order to know the execution status of the current call, which is web API call. Okay, so this is what I had for this session. If you have any questions or comments, I welcome you to post it in the comment section. Thanks a lot for watching, and thanks a lot for your support so far. I request the viewers who haven't subscribed to subscribe my channel. Thanks a lot. That's all.